Switching gears now, overseas Filipino remittances remain one of the main drivers of the Philippine economy, but current geopolitical tensions are posing as a threat to the sector. Now, to talk to us about that and more, we have with us today BCRemit founder and CEO Oliver Calma. Oliver, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Stanley. Thanks for inviting me.
It's good to have you here. Now, remittances growing 3.3% in 2025, hitting over $35 billion for the entire year. Sounds like a pretty exciting development. How are you benefiting from this kind of growth?
Yeah, for us, it's been a great year. Actually, it's been a great several years. Remittances continue to grow and we're benefiting from it. For BCRemit, we focus on the Philippine corridor. We operate here in the UK, across the EU, US, and Canada, mainly focusing on the Philippine market. As we know, the Philippines is one of the largest remittance market in the world. So yeah, business has been good.
Okay, Oliver, it sounds like a crowded space. When you talk about remittances, you have like many platforms offering that as well to a growing number of OFW populations in the Philippines. And outside the country, I'm imagining there could be challenges. What might these be to the remittance space, the challenges currently, and how are you making sure that, you have the right strategies to rise up to these challenges?
No, definitely you're right. It's a very competitive market. Pricing continues to go down, and it's very good for our customers, our OFW kababayans. And yeah, for us, the way we tackle that is continually improving our technology. More and more technology is playing a crucial part in the remittance business. Like for us at BCRemit, we're adopting stable coins to make remittances even more efficient, even faster and cheaper. So yeah, basically it's really the adoption of technology that's giving us the edge in this very competitive market.
As you've said, so technology is the key to, the key demands, the pain points that you want to address. You want it fast. Overseas Filipino workers want remittances fast. They want it efficient at the lowest possible cost. Now, let's talk about BCRemit now, how it is delivering those expectations from the OFWs, cost-efficient cross-border money transfers.
Yeah, so for us, we're purely online. We're about 85% of our transactions through our mobile app. The other 15 is through the other 10 is through our website. 5% is through our call center. So it's really, technology is in the heart of what we offer. So we make money transfer, as you said, cheap, fast, and convenient for the benefit of our customers, which are mainly OFWs. We're using a lot of technology to make that happen. So, like I mentioned earlier, stable coins currently play a big part in terms of making that even more efficient. So, and we continually expand. We're expanding as well. I mentioned earlier, we're present. We started here in the UK, actually. This was about almost 10 years ago. And last year, we did a massive expansion project. We expanded in the EU, US, and Canada. We're currently working on our Saudi Arabia license so we can reach more of our kababayans. So yeah, it's really, everything's going online.
Okay, Oliver, you were a former OFW of sorts. Perhaps there were pain points that inspired you to create BC Remittance, the unique service that you offer. Might you share with us what these pain points are?
Sure. Yeah, I was a migrant worker. I was actually, in a way, ABS-CBN played a part in it, because actually I became an expat of ABS-CBN. I was with the Filipino channel. So they sent me over to the Middle East initially, and then over here in London that was almost 18 years ago. So, of course, firsthand, I saw the pain points of how, especially at that time, how expensive and slow money remittance was. So it really inspired me to offer a more faster cheaper and a more convenient service for money remittance. I also saw how crucial money remittance is for Filipino migrant workers. So that really inspired me to create or to start BCRemit.
Okay, you already mentioned, of course, a bit of the growth plans, at least geographically, where you intend to expand. But tell us more about your current market share and how do you intend to grow your OFW base?
Yep. So for us, like I mentioned, we're present across Europe, US, and Canada. We actually also have our own entity in the Philippines. It's regulated, of course, by this is a regulated service, so we are regulated by the Philippine Central Bank and the Anti-Money Laundering Council. We just don't send money from to the Philippines for our customers, but actually our kababayans can also send from the Philippines to currently the UK, US, and Europe. And as I mentioned earlier, we're expanding into the Middle East, starting to apply. We have a joint venture company that we set up in Saudi Arabia, so we're currently applying for our license there. We're talking to banks, so we're trying to have more footprint. And then in the coming years, we're looking to expand in more on the Asia Pacific region. Australia, for instance, is a market that is interesting for us, even Japan and Korea.
And here's something interesting from BCRemit. You received recognition in 2025, one of the top startup finalists. Now, how did this kind of recognition open more doors, Oliver, for the business in terms of support, perhaps, for your expansion?
Yep, we're getting a lot of interest. For instance, we're currently fundraising, so we're getting a lot of interest from both VCs and strategic partners. So that would help us expand and grow in a much faster pace. So really, it's great that we're getting a lot of interest from not just our customers, but also from investors and strategic partners.
Okay, and of course, you are part of the greater push for financial inclusion in the Philippines, acceleration. On that regard, is it growing as fast as it should? Or is there anything that the government can still do in terms of maybe creating policies to improve financial inclusion?
Yeah, I think so far, the government in the Philippines has been doing a good job in terms of pushing that agenda. But of course, there's always that can be done more. I think clearer. I think in terms of clear regulations, particularly as we adopt, as I mentioned, blockchain technologies, or clearer regulations on stable coins, on digital assets, I think will help push this financial inclusion and improve the adoption of more efficient remittance and payment solutions for the benefit of consumers.
All right. You are now serving Filipinos in 23 countries with transactions totaling about, $600 million now since your inception. What would you tell Filipinos? Why should they trust BCRemit?
Well, BCRemit, it's really a service designed for Filipinos. We really focus on the Philippine diaspora. We'd like to specialize this, as I mentioned, because remittance the Philippines is one of the largest remittance markets in the world. We solely focus on that market. We provide, because of that, we specialize. Because of our specialization, we can really provide very good exchange rate, low fees. So we benefit from those economies of scale. Plus the fact that we just don't offer remittances within our app. We have what we call BCRemit Pay, which is it's really an e-commerce platform that allows our customers to directly pay services such as SSS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, even their property payment and some of their other bills. We even have Jollibee delivery, and they can do that from, let's say, here in London, and pay those kind of bills or services there in the Philippines.
Okay, Oliver, these aren't the best of times. We have a war ongoing, and given the instability of the present geopolitical situation in many parts of the world, particularly in the Middle East. Now, that region is where most OFWs come from. What are your insights on this, and how resilient do you think OFWs are when it comes to these new challenges, these unforeseen challenges of war?
Yeah, it's unfortunate these things are happening, but I think the key word you said it's the resilience of the Filipino. I think as they say, we Filipinos, we adopt very, very well. We're very resilient. So I think remittances won't be affected as much. Also, especially in the Middle East and across the world, we serve very critical services. But hopefully, in most parts of the Middle East, there wouldn't be as much disruption for our kababayans there in terms of their livelihood.
And for the remittance business, is this the kind of business that's sensitive to, exchange rates, inflation, possibly economic slowdowns that can result from geopolitical challenges like the one we're experiencing now?
Yeah, remittances is quite unique, as I mentioned earlier, especially for Filipino migrant workers or OFWs. It's really a utility. So, there are fluctuations, but not as much because it's something that they need to do. It's because they have to,
send
money back home, support their families. So. It does fluctuate, but not in a big way. It's consistent, and as you mentioned earlier, it continues to grow.
All right. Lastly, Oliver, to know more about BCRemit, both access and services, the ones that you offer, how might one check you out?
So thanks for that, Stanley. So for BCRemit, as I mentioned, we're available across Europe, US and Canada. We're also available in the Philippines for our kababayans that want to send money from the Philippines, again, to the UK, Europe, or the US. They can avail of that. We're available on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. We also have our website, www.bcremit.com, so they could just easily download our app for free. Again, in Google Play or Apple Play, Apple Store, and just sign up, avail of our low transfer fee and great exchange rate. We also have within our website, they can see our call center. We have where we are present. We have a 24/7 customer service. So they even though we are purely online, they can get assistance in terms of if they have any questions about our service or help in doing their transaction.
All right. On that note, Oliver Calma, BCRemit founder and CEO, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for this conversation. Good luck with BCRemit.
Thank you again, Stanley. Thank you.